Hey everybody, it's Kendra. So welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been here before. My video today is going to be part 2 of my beauty essentials. So a couple weeks ago I did part 1 of my beauty essentials, and that was just my top 10 brushes and tools. You know, the tools I think that if you are going to get tools to do your makeup with, which ones I think are really important and why. Today I'm doing my top 10 makeup items. So if you don't have a makeup kit, or if you do and you want to revamp it, these are the items that I think are very, very useful, very, very practical to have in your makeup kit. Now, again, as I did last time, I'm not saying you need this foundation, you need this blush. I'm gonna give like a general sort of category and then talk about an option or a couple options that I really love. Again, this video was also inspired by my friend Renee, as was the last one. So hi Renee, I hope this is helpful on your quest for the perfect makeup kit. You know, I know going to Sephora can be super overwhelming. It's overwhelming for me even. I love beauty, I love makeup, but there's so many new brands popping out. There's so many new products constantly being released. And not to mention, it can get super, super expensive if you're just like, oh, okay, like I think I need this, or I don't really know what I need. So anyway, here are my top 10 makeup picks. These are the categories that I think are very, very good, very, very practical, very, very useful. Some of these items can totally multitask. I really like that. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, number 1, I think a full coverage foundation is very, very important. I prefer to just, like, if I could only have one foundation, I would prefer a full coverage over a lighter coverage. Why? You can sheer out a full coverage foundation very nicely. Sure, if you have like a sheer foundation, you can build it up, but I often find if you're building up a sheerer foundation, it's gonna start to flake, it's gonna start to cake. So I would prefer to take something more concentrated, much heavier, and just sheer it out. So my pick for that, I love the Illamasqua skin-based foundation. Looks like this, kind of annoying to get in the US, you gotta order it from the UK. I'm currently in shade like 6.5, I think they go up to, I think they have a 7.5, I don't know. I have 6.5 and 8.5, so I have been mixing those at the moment. But yeah, Illamasqua Skin Base, great foundation, really, really beautiful, totally full coverage. If you've got stuff to cover up, you can, but it also shears out very, very nicely. So totally love that. You're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. If one day you need more coverage, you've got it. If you need a little less coverage and you just want a light coverage, boom, you've got that too. Okay, number 2, I think a concealer is great, specifically for under eyes. The concealer I always use, you all know what I'm about to say, it's the NARS Creamy Concealer. My shade is Custard. This is wonderful. I usually just use this for my under eye circles. I don't often use this for blemishes, usually just because the foundation I'm using will cover blemishes just fine. But I would recommend finding a good concealer that you love. This is one product, if you've never tried this, absolutely head to Sephora, check this stuff out. It's really, really good. I feel like I've tested a couple other concealers recently, and I use it once and I'm like, what's the point? My NARS one is sort of the winner. So yeah, definitely have a concealer for your under eyes. Okay, number 3, a translucent setting powder. So the one I love, you all know what I'm going to talk about. This is the NARS Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder. I have the loose one, okay? I've probably gone through, this is probably my 3rd container of this stuff. I have tried the pressed version. I didn't like it. I thought it was really difficult to get out. But if you can find yourself a pressed version that you like, go for it. It's much easier to travel with. And also, if you find a nice pressed translucent powder, let me know about it, because I've only tried that NARS one and I didn't like it. Why do I love a translucent powder rather than a colored powder? I think colored powders just look cakey. I think if you want that really heavy makeup look, that cake face, go for, you know, a colored face powder. To me, they always end up looking too heavy. I think a translucent powder will work on all different skin tones. It sets your makeup, it reduces shine, but it is not so heavy. I actually have several colored powders, but I never use them. I have a couple different ones from Makeup Forever, I have some maquillage ones, and I even have the Laura Mercier translucent powder. They say it's translucent. To me, it is not translucent. To me, it looks more like beige. So I don't even use that one. I don't really even like that one. But yeah, I'm all about the NARS one. I love it. Okay, number 4, some type of blush, preferably matte, or you know, something maybe with a tiny bit of shimmer, but not too much. Some type of matte blush that just works really, really well with your skin tone and that you really love. Something that can be your standby. It looks good in all different seasons. It works with your skin type, and it just really suits you. So if I want a cream blush, the one I always reach for is Dixie by Illamasqua. This is just a beautiful blush. It is just this perfect sort of pinky corally color. It is beautiful. Very, very pigmented, and it's matte. If I want a powder blush, this one by NYX is really pretty. This is the NYX powder blush in Mocha. A very, very similar shade to that one by Illamasqua. You know, it's a little bit lighter, but it still has that sort of like, you know, pinky rosy shade. It's matte, very, very pretty. And then my final pick, this is the one I've been all about recently. This is by Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop blusher, and this shade is First Love. This looks like absolutely nothing in the pan, but it's so, so pretty once it's on. Now, the outer shade does have a bit of shimmer. The outer shade is so, so, so light. This could actually work really nicely as an eyeshadow. And then the middle shade definitely has a bit more color to it. Just a really, really pretty neutral. This blush is definitely more on the neutral side of things, whereas the first two were much more in like the pinky rosy category. But I think these blushes, you know, I have tons of blushes, but the ones I constantly go back to are the ones that aren't overly crazy. They're not weird colors. They're not like the hot pinks or the hot purples or the bright reds. These are the really wearable ones. So, you know, my whole video today is about kind of solidifying your makeup kit. What are the products that are so useful that you're gonna really, really get your money's worth? Okay, number 5, a palette that has both a highlight and a contour. The highlight, I do like the highlight to have a little bit of shimmer. The contour, no, I want the contour to be matte. This is one of the reasons I like to have a blush that is matte. If I'm in the mood to add a little bit of highlighting, I can. If I have a blush that already has the shimmer built in, it can be really beautiful, but you don't really have that option. So I like to keep my makeup kit as versatile as possible. So if I have a nice matte blush and a highlighter and a contour, then I can, you know, then I can really do some sculpting if I want. So the contour highlight palette I love is by Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Filmstar Bronze and Glow palette. It's absolutely beautiful. The contour is matte. The highlight has a shimmer in it. It is beautiful. They actually just came out with one of these palettes for deeper tone skins, so that looks absolutely beautiful as well. Also, when you are thinking about makeup products, don't just think a blush is a blush. A blush works really nicely as an eyeshadow. You know, this highlight color, this is perfect as a shimmery eyeshadow. This is perfect for like a nice, beautiful champagne eye. I think that's one thing we often forget. We often think like, okay, we have these categories, like I bought eyeshadow, but I can only use it as eyeshadow. Most of it, it's just powder. It's just pressed powder in different shades. You know what? Make it work for you. Make it be versatile. Okay, number 6. Number 6 is sort of in the same vein as what I have just been talking about. You know, versatility, getting multiple uses for various things. I'm moving into eyeshadow. So I recommend getting a matte eyeshadow palette that will work for several things. You know, you can use it for your eyeshadow, but you can also use it to do your brows. If there's like a deep brown shade in it or black, you can do your brows. For the deeper tones, you can use it, you know, with a thin liner brush and do your eyeliner. You don't even need like a separate liquid liner or something. You can get a tiny bit of powder out, get it wet, or use some type of product, and make liquid liner out of it. So I'm all about the versatility here. So the options that I recommend, if you want something a little bit more complete, This palette by Stila is really great. So this is the Eyes Are the Window to the Soul palette, and this is in the shade Mind. So very, very pretty. Today I used this shade, this kind of brownie shade, just all over my lid. I used the black just to do a tiny bit of lining on my lid, and then I also used the brown, this one, to do my brows. So this is super, super practical, especially if you want a few more shades. Also, this is nice because it has a really, really big mirror. Now, if you are tight on space and you don't want something that big, this one by Maquillage is probably my most used eyeshadow trio. This is their eyeshadow trio and the shade is Smoky Look. This light brown is perfect just as an all-over wash of color on your lid. The brown is great if you want to like contour a tiny bit, do your crease a bit. The black works great as a liner, as does the brown. I often use the brown to do my eyebrows. So just, you know, it's not just eyeshadow. I don't use this just as eyeshadow. I can use this as liner. I can use this as a brow product. So really, really, really versatile. Okay, number 7, I do recommend getting a separate liner, a waterproof eyeliner that you can use on your waterline, on your upper waterline. You can also use this to just line your eyes. So, you know, it's really nice to be able to use shadow as a liner, but I especially love having something waterproof for your waterline and your upper waterline that is specifically made for this type of thing. I don't want to be putting shadow up on my upper waterline because it's going to get into my eyeballs, and I don't want that. So the one I love, this is the only waterproof liner I use at the moment, which is sad because I have so many, but this is always the one I use. This is by Maquillage. This is their waterproof eyeliner, and the shade is Coal Black. Love, love, love this. Stays put for a long time. Basically, when I do my eyes now, I often just curl my lashes, do a little bit of waterproof black liner on the upper waterline, mascara, done. Yeah, super, super simple. I love doing that on my upper waterline because it just makes my lashes look so much fuller. All right, where am I? Number 8? I think I'm at number 8. My next eye product, mascara. Absolutely get mascara. Find a mascara that you love. Stick with it. I'm always testing out mascaras, but the ones I come back to, Misha 4D, which I don't have anymore, which is so sad. CoverGirl Clump Crusher. This stuff is super cheap and it does a great job. I really like having nice separated lashes. A little bit of clumpiness and a little bit of fullness is fine now and then, but on a day-to-day basis, I do like just like really neat, tidy sort of lashes. So I love the CoverGirl Clump Crusher. Also, if I'm going to splurge, I love Christian Dior Show. This is a sample. I actually just got this from Sephora. This was one of their 100-point rewards, and I think I got 5 or 6 of these samples because I love it and it's kind of expensive. So I thought, yes, I can get free samples. This is great. This one definitely does lengthen your lashes a little bit. This one's definitely a little bit clumpier than the Clump Crusher or Misha 4D, but I love it. And I also really love the way this stuff smells. It has this floral scent, and I usually, yeah, it has this nice kind of flowery scent. I usually hate scent in my products, but I probably started using this maybe 10 years ago, and not the whole time, like I didn't have money like that. But I just remember the whole time I thought, wow, that smells so good. I love it. Okay, number 9 and number 10 are both lip products. Number 9, I think everyone should have a lip product that is very similar to their own lip color. And this is what we call the Your Lips But Better. My fingers are so dirty. The Your Lips But Better lip color. It's perfect for day to day. It just sort of makes your lips, it just gives your lips that je ne sais quoi. It just makes them look a little bit fuller, a little bit nicer. My absolute two favorites. This I actually just did a Tuesday on. This was part of the birthday gift from Sephora. This is the NARS satin lip pencil, I believe you're called. Satin lip pencil. And the shade for this one is Rikugian. Absolutely beautiful. This is what I'm wearing today. It's just this perfect sort of neutral, rosy, pinky shade. So, so, so lovely. My other favorite, this probably, well, I can't say all-time favorite because I've only had this one for like a year. This is Charlotte Tilbury's lipstick in Bitch Perfect. This is a tiny bit lighter. So pretty. Just such a pretty wearable shade. And I love the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks because they smell like vanilla cake and it's just delicious. So I think a lipstick like this is sort of your everyday lipstick, makes your lips just look all that much better, just a little bit more put together. And plus, like, oh my gosh, if you pull this out of your purse, you look so cool. Charlotte Tilbury does some good packaging. And number 10, I think everyone should have a fun lip color. You know, this of course is something that totally, like, it's up to you. You know, what shade are you really drawn to? It could be a red, it could be a pink, maybe an orange, maybe a bright purple, just some fun, unique color that you really love, that, you know, gives you confidence and you just feel like bold, you feel sassy. This is the sassy lipstick. So for me, I love pink and I love red. Probably my favorite hot pink shade is by Makeup Forever. It's number 36 in their Rouge Artist Intense. It is so, so, so pretty. It's sort of like on the bluer tone of things, but it is hot pink and it is beautiful. I absolutely love this. Every time I wear this, I get compliments on it. It's just beautiful. And when you have a perfectly defined pink lip or red lip, oh, it just looks so, so, so nice. My other options, I do love a beautiful, perfect red lip. I do have 3 options because I couldn't narrow it down. I have so many red lipsticks that I love. My first one is by Maquillage. This is their lip color pen in clear red. This is really, really lovely. This does give a little bit of a sheen. Definitely has a dewy sort of finish. Love that one. My next one is by Bourjois. This is a Rouge Edition Velvet and the shade is Hot Pepper. This is a pretty similar shade to that one by Maquillage. Sort of that reddish orangey shade, but this one will dry matte. This does not dry satiny. And then my final red, this is by the brand Innisfree. This is a Korean brand. This is probably the lipstick that got me into wearing red lips. I fell in love with this when I was in Korea. This is more of just a beautiful cherry red. It's just lovely. Like, when I wear this, I mean business. It is a sexy, serious red. I absolutely love this red. If you don't have time to do all kinds of crazy eye makeup, maybe just curl your lashes, do a bit of mascara, a little bit of upper waterline. If you want to look a little more jazzed, a little more dressy, put on a fun lip. It can really, really make your outfit. And I feel like a bold lip just gives you that little bit of extra confidence. I feel amazing when I am wearing a red lip or a hot pink lip or something, just something a little bit out of the ordinary. It's sass. You need your sassy lipstick. So there you go. Those are my top 10 makeup picks. Now, I know I gave multiple options for these. You don't need that. If you get these 10 items, you know, this will give you such a solid base for a makeup kit. You can absolutely do a day-to-day, you know, neutral look, casual look. You can glam it up. You have options. That's why I love it. I have tons of products, but these are the products I constantly go for. These are the products that are constantly left out on my vanity because I'm using them every single day. I often look at my other products and I think, wow, you're so beautiful, but you're so neglected. Because there just always aren't, you know, special occasions to bring out this really fancy makeup. These are the things I absolutely recommend for a makeup kit. This is a solid foundation. This is like building a house. This is like building your makeup house. These are like the walls and the roof and the floor. And then, you know what, later, if you decide to buy some fake eyelashes, that's like hanging a painting on the wall. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this series. I will link part 1 down below and also like up here if you are interested to see what my top 10 brushes and tools are for your makeup essentials. Also, I would love to hear what your beauty essentials are regarding makeup. What are the makeup products you absolutely think are key and vital to have in your makeup kit? So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!